we have Michikazu KOJIMA. He is an economist and specializing in environmental policy, especially waste management and recycling in Asian countries. Currently he has two positions. First is the chief senior research at the Institute of Developing Economies, the Japan External Trade Organization, or JETRO. And the second one is the research fellows at Economic Research Institute for Asians and East Asia. Okay, he has also contributed to the field of international cooperations as a member of expert working groups of environmentally sound management under the Basel Conventions and member of technical expert committee for green industry platforms by UNEP. He will be presenting about the circular economy for plastics, good practices in Japan. Please welcome Mr. KOJIMA.
Yeah, thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. I'd like to talk about good practices in circular economy for plastics in Japan. So, yeah, let me. Yeah. At first, I would like to introduce circular economy laws on plastics in Japan. We have a few recycling law recycling law in Japan, and in this presentation, I focus three laws. One is Act on Promotion of Effective Utilization of Resources, which was enacted in 1991. And also Containers and Packaging Recycling Act, enacted in 1995. And the Act on Promotion of Resource Circulation for Plastics, it was, enacted recently. Yeah, Act on Promotion of Effective Utilization of Resources, which was enacted in 1991. And these regulations require producers put some labeling on materials of containers and packages for source separation. And also they specify some industry to use recycled material or reused parts, such as the manufacture of PVC pipe and copying machine industries. And the pictures shows a kind of a label of PET bottles, and this number one PET, it indicate the PET is the bottle is made from PET. And regarding cap and the labels, they indicate the cap is made from polypropylene and label is polystyrene. So they have this kind of the labeling should be attached to the PET bottles. So such kind of the requirement was imposed by this act. Next, Containers and Packaging Recycling Act. EPR is applied to container and packaging pack from municipal waste, and the local government has responsibility of collection. And some responsibility of waste container and packages generated by industries are put on the generators themselves. And this act target items are these package and containers, including cans and glass bottles, PET bottles, and other plastic containers and packages. Role of consumers is to sort in accordance with sorting categories set by local government, and the local government have a kind of sorted collection, and the producers has a responsibility of recycling somehow. So producers pay recycling fee to the designated organization, and the recycling fee is determined through the tender process. And the designated organization contacts tender to determine recyclers whom will treat the collected collected waste containers and packages. So under this scheme, the central one, the designated organization route. So consumers have a kind of source separation, and the municipalities collect plastic container and packages and other container packages, and they send to recyclers. And recycler is determined in the kind of tenders process, and between the designated organization and recyclers. So they have a kind of a tender process, and producers, specified business entities, should pay the recycling fee to designated organization. So this is a main kind of route of the Package and Container Recycling Act. So most of the plastic package and containers are recycled in this stream. But there are two other kind of the different scheme also. Own collections route is consumers send the sorted plastic waste to the municipality collect it, and they send to recyclers. Mainly the recyclers located in these municipalities. And if the approval, how say, entire route is approved by a competent ministries, then specified business entities pay the kind of have a recycling contact with recyclers also. So the producers support these kind of recyclers. The third one is self-collection route. So this one, the producers themselves have organized a kind of collection program. So consumers dispose the kind of specific items of the plastic containers and packages to retail stores. So when consumers buy some how say, some foods and so on with the package and containers, they also bring the used or waste package and container to retail shop, and retail store collect such kind of the package and container, and they send to the actually specified business entity, producer itself, collect such kind of waste. So this route is should be also approved by select business entity, how say, approved by the competent ministries. Okay, and next. Act on promotion of resource circulation for plastics. This act was recently enacted June 2021, and which will be enforced on April 1st, 2022, so next year. The purpose is to contribute to the conservation of the living environment and the sound development of national economy by promoting recycling of plastic resources. So in the past, Package and Container Recycling Act only focused packaging containers, but this act tried to cover some other plastic items, plastic products such as bucket, hanger, toy, and stationery. So, and also this regulation has a kind of the give authority to the government about to reduce the single-use plastics, and also they have a kind of guidelines for design for environment. So next section, I would like to show some good practices in Japan. The first one is to reduce the single-use shopping bags in Japan. One of the campaigns to reduce single-use shopping bag was started in 1961 by Consumer Union in Hokkaido. At that time, probably it's not a plastic bag, probably the paper bags. But anyway, such kind of a movement was started in 1960s. A supermarket started to give an incentive for buyers to bring their own bag instead of single-use shopping bag in 1974, and gradually such kind of a movement in spread to entire national in Japan. But even in early 2000, the refuse rate of single-use shopping bags are around above the 10%, but less than 20%. But gradually, such kind of the refuse rate increase in 2000, early 2010, early 2010s, and in July 2020, mandatory charging of plastic shopping bag was enforced by the government. The exemptions are made for a plastic shopping bag which thickness is more than 50 micrometers, which are biodegradable, or at least 25% made consist of biomass plastics. So these are exemptions. So the shops can give these kind of plastic shopping bag to the customers freely, but otherwise they should charge to deliver the give the plastic shopping bag. So after this regulation, the refuse rate of single-use shopping bag increase a lot, so it exceed 70%. Another good practice is design for recycling. This is a case of PET bottles. So such kind of a design for recycling were, developed by the voluntary initiative by Japan's Council for PET Bottles Recycling. They create a kind of a guideline for design of PET bottles, such as PE or PP, which polyethylene, polypropylene, which gravity less than 1 should be used for caps in order to sort caps from PET. Profit the coloring of PET, because waste PET with color has limited demand of recycling. It is also recommended to have a perforation, so easy to cut the to remove the labeling. They should make a perforation on the label. There are kind of English version of voluntary standards, so you can check it also. So in 2020, Japan's collection rate of PET bottles is 96.7%. And among them, bottle-to-bottle recycling rate is about 32% of total recycling. So other kind of PET bottles recycling is going to the fibers or textile. So this is a good practices of the design for recycling. And the next one is we need to ensure the demand of recycled products. To do that, government tried to make industrial standard for recycled plastics products. So together with industries, they try to create various kinds of the industrial standard for recycled plastics. And these kind of industrial standards are also used in the government procurement mechanism. So when they make a kind of how say construction kind of tenders, then they can how say the developers construction companies should utilize such kind of the recycled plastic materials. So Japanese government made very many kinds of the industrial standard for recycled plastics products. The one of them prioritized PVC three-layer pipe with recycled core. So the outer layer and inner layers are made from the virgin PVC, but the core layer, which will not how say touch to the waters, are made from the recycled PVC. So such kind of recycling standards are developed, and the another one is the wood plastic recycled composite, which is this is kind of the wood plastic recycled composite. So we have this kind of the materials industrial standard. So that the yeah so. To ensure the demand of recycled plastics, sometimes you need to develop this kind of industrial standards. The next good practice is styrofoam or expanded polystyrene or polystyrene paper tray. So in Japan, there are some recycling system to collect polystyrene paper tray and also expanded polystyrene like a fish box or home appliances kind of cushion materials for packaging. So we have such kind of the collection of the styrofoam. The first one is polystyrene paper tray for recycling. Uh, a voluntary collection box for PSP tray placed to some shopping centers, and consumers visit such kind of shopping centers. They bring the waste PSP tray, and the trucks deliver new PSP tray to the this kind of shopping centers, collect the waste PSP tray for recycling facilities. So they do not have any kind of the additional arrange of the collection of the this kind of the waste PSP tray, and they how to say trucks deliver new PSP tray, bring back the waste PSP tray. And this self-collection route is a major kind of a route of the collection of the PSP tray for recycling. There are some kind of the designated bodies recycling route, which I already mentioned in the previous slide. And there are own collection route which are collected by local governments and sent to the recycling facilities also exist, but the main route of the collection of the PSP tray, it's a kind of a tray of styrofoam, which are collected by self-collection route. And regarding expanded polystyrene, the most of the EPS expanded polystyrene are used for containers like a fish box, and also cushioning materials and so on. And expanded polystyrene collected I'll say in 1991. The collection rate is was about 20%, but the collection is increasing. I'm sorry, it's a little bit more than 10%. Not, its volume about 20,000 tons were collected among the 170,000 tons of the EPS. But gradually, the rate of the how to say the volume collected by recyclers increasing, and recycling rate is reached about 90% around 2015. How to what is a mechanism? The expanded polystyrene or styrofoams is bulky, so to reduce the volume is very important. So technology to reduce the volume is crucial to transport bulky expanded polystyrene or styrofoam waste efficiently to recycling facilities. So compressing machines or kind of melting machines are introduced in the various fish market, like a Tsukiji fish market. I took these pictures, and this is a kind of a compressed EPS from the machine. So it become 1/50th of the original volume. So transportation cost can be reduced to the 1/50th. Then styrofoam can be sent to the recycling facilities. And another good practices is a shift from the conventional EPS floats to high durability floats. So some companies developed high durability floats, which are a little bit expensive compared with conventional EPS, but the period of service is much longer. So, so such kind of duality floats are available in Japan, and some how say fisheries cooperative association introduce such kind of high durability floats. Yeah, and we have some waste to energy plant and chemical recycling also, or RDF plant in Japan. So yeah, we have such kind of a technology, and some part of the plastic wastes are going to such kind of a waste into energy plant or RDF plant or chemical recycling facilities. And to utilize the kind of a waste to energy plant in rural area or small municipalities. In Japan, many municipalities make a kind of the association, partial affairs associations. Then they have a kind of how to say they can utilize economies of scale in waste to energy plant. So they may able to contract with private sectors also. So such is, I heard that Thai has a clustering policy. Uh, Such kind of effort conducted in 1960s and 1970s in Japan. So at that time, many municipalities tried to join or accumulate the association or cluster to jointly operate a waste to energy plant or RDF plant and others. And I I don't have much time, but we have a source separation program also, and some local government impose a volume-based waste collection fee, and which generate a kind of incentive to put the how say the citizens dispose how say plastic and the containers separate collections. I mean mixed how to say mixed waste, general household waste, plastic, the the price for this general plastic general waste is much higher than the plastic containers and package collection bag. So such kind of the difference of the charge of the collection fee give a kind of incentive for consumers to separate properly the plastic waste. So there are some kind of the collection system, and there are some English kind of the guidebook for how to separate waste. So you can check the some English booklet or guidebook on the separation in Japan. So that's my presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, professors.
Yeah.
Okay. So Professor Kojima has gave us various examples of good practices about plastic recycle in Japan. In Japan has been implementing like registrations on containers and packaging recycle act, and also have like financial incentives, like for example in Sendai cities, they have a volume-based collection fee, and also campaigning about educations about how to segregate the recycle waste as well. So this is my question is exactly at this PowerPoint slides. So it's interesting to be that the refusal rate has been going up even before the mandatory measures in July 2020. So what happens though? Can you explain why like Japanese people start to like refusing using the single-use shopping bag? And also one question from the floor is that, so if they refuse using the single-use shopping bag, so what type of like bag they are used for substitute?
Yeah, the substitute is many people use their own bag. I mean, they have a kind of a textile or kind of a shopping bag they use. So I also bring some my bag to the to go to when I go to the shops. So that is yeah that is the so many people use their own bags right now. So that's the rate. Regarding the increase in the how say increase the diffuse rate increase in around 2010, it's a kind of campaign by the local government, and also the some shops also try to introduce the how say they give us some points, and if
I see.
they have 5 points or 10 points, they can discount a little bit somehow. So shops or yeah, shops give us some incentive for consumers to bring their bags. So that was a kind of the movement in late 2000s and early 2010s. But the refusal rate stabilized in the mid of the 2010s. So government introduced kind of mandatory the
Okay.
charge of the single-use plastic bags.
So in your opinion, you still think that mandatory measure is like the key to to
Yeah,
really.
but yeah, the voluntary measures also work somehow,
Mhm,
and but there are some limits. So
mhm.
uh, that's why government introduced
Okay,
the mandatory charge. Yeah.
thank you. Another question from the participants. So they would like to know more about the volume-based fee. So is there any other city that offer like a smaller size than like a 45 liters size at the back?
Yeah. Yes. They have a small size also. So it
Okay.
depends on the municipalities. They basically how say specify the specific plastic bag, and the consumers should buy, households should buy this kind of shopping bags, and some budget is how to say used for the waste management. So that is not how to say. Of course, the cost of the waste treatment is much higher. So only some part of the budget is coming from the sales of this kind of plastic bag. So, but they try to differentiate the how say mixed waste and the bag for waste plastic and the containers and the packages. So the price is lower. So consumers try to separate properly for this kind of recycling. And one of the challenge is big cities like Tokyo. Tokyo cities, there are so many foreigners coming, or some how say the populations how say they some students are coming from outside to the Tokyo, so they may not be able to follow the regulations, and so how to say, the big cities are a little bit difficult to implement such kind of activities. But medium sized and small cities and rural area, they are trying to introduce such kind of scheme.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Another question is that, so what is the rationales for introducing the biodegradable plastic shopping bags, since the collection system in Japan is already measures? I think, I mean, like, I interpret the question like the recycling rate is very high already. Is why you still need to have this biodegradable plastic shopping bags being
Yeah,
introduced.
yes. Yeah, still somehow the, how to say, uh, yeah, plastic shopping bag can be found in coastal area or marine environment. So sometimes, I had also experience that I took the some products from the plastic shopping bag, but at that time plastic bags are thrown away by wind, and
Okay.
I cannot pick up. It was very strong wind, so then such kind of plastic bags going to the environment, or like sometimes yeah, anyway, the plastic can be found in
Okay.
the rivers or ocean or beaches. So that is why they try to reduce
Okay.
somehow. Yeah,
All right. All right.
yeah,
Two more questions. Another question is that for the Japanese case, actually, uh, the citizen need to rinse and return the used packagings uh, to the facilities. So what are the incentives for them to do that? Like
yeah,
to have a
yeah,
troubling like rinsing all
yeah.
the plastic waste and
Yes,
return it
yeah,
to the.
yeah. They clean up they wash this kind of tray,
Yes.
and
Mhm.
they bring back to the shops. Yeah, the incentive is that some of the cities already introduced the kind of volume-based collection fee, but this one is free.
Mhm.
So you don't need to pay for dispose this kind of tray if they bring
Okay.
back the tray to the shops.
Mhm.
That is an incentive. And also, even they do not have how say, municipalities do not have introduced volume-based collection fee. Some citizens aware that this kind of shopping bags can be recycled. So voluntarily, they dispose the waste, they bring back their waste to the shopping centers. So that is a kind, another, even municipalities do not impose volume-based collection fee, some consumers contribute to the recycling of this kind of PSP tray.
Okay, all right,
Yeah.
thank you. Another question is a little bit more technical. So how do plastic incinerations make low pollution in Japan? Do they use catalysts for plastic depolymerizations?
Okay. Yeah. Uh, uh, Waste to energy plant. They had a yeah. In the past, they had a kind of difficulty to treat plastics. But the waste to energy plant is technology is improved, and they have some uh, pollution control equipment, and also yeah I think they do not use such kind of the monopol how say yeah, you mentioned that technology, but they try to control the how say how say I heard that the key technology is after the burn, and you have the how say you should have a high enough temperature, and you should have cooling rapidly. So if you cool the smoke rapidly, then the generation of dioxin or toxic substances can be reduced. So, and also they try to remove such kind of the ashes also. So there are some combination of technology to reduce pollutants. Yeah.
Okay, that addressed all the questions, Professor Kojima. Thank you very much for your great presentations
Yeah. Thank
and
you very
all
much for
the
your question.
answers.
Yeah. 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 Thank you.
Okay, all right, thank